Destiny has LaBerrick in court again, and this time, things are looking even more complicated than before. The latest development in their never-ending battle is all about their child, custody, and the disagreements surrounding how their little one should be raised. This situation is not just about where the child lives or what school he attends, but also about something much deeper: parenting styles, communication, and the emotional well-being of a child who is caught right in the middle of two parents who just can't seem to get on the same page. From the documents and details that have surfaced, it's clear that Destiny has filed a new lawsuit against LaBerrick. She is saying that he uses corporal punishment on their child, and she is pushing to gain full custody so she can have more say in the child's upbringing. According to Destiny, the baby has been struggling emotionally and academically. She claims that he has outbursts in school, he has been suspended, and he is showing signs of anxiety and other behavioral issues when he is with her. Destiny is insisting that these problems are connected to LaBerrick's way of raising him, especially the discipline style, and she does not want her child spanked or punished in a way that she feels is too harsh now. What makes this even more complicated is that LaBerrick is the parent who currently has full custody. That means legally, most of the decisions about the child's day-to-day life are already in his hands. He has even gone as far as moving the child to a different school, something Destiny strongly disagrees with. She feels that he made this decision without her input and that the child was pulled out of a program where he was receiving support for his development. Destiny believes that being yanked out of a familiar environment and placed in a completely new school is only making things worse. From her perspective, this move has destabilized the child, caused confusion, and added to his struggles. She argues that he needs consistency and support, not sudden changes. In her eyes, removing him from the program where he was receiving help for his delays is a major mistake. She is fighting for the right to place him back in a setting where he can receive the proper testing, proper care, and the stability she thinks he desperately needs. But here's the thing: LaBerrick isn't agreeing to any of this. He isn't talking back to Destiny, he isn't considering her opinions, and he seems set on doing things his own way. Since he already has custody, he feels he is the one who should make the choices. This lack of cooperation is making the situation worse. Instead of working together to find common ground for their child, both parents are locked in a battle of wills, with the child stuck in the middle. Destiny is not just arguing about custody and schooling. She has also raised serious concerns about the environment the child is in when he is with LaBerrick. According to her, the baby has been exposed to domestic violence incidents between LaBerrick and one of his partners. She suggests that the child has witnessed arguments or even physical altercations, and she worries that this exposure is part of the reason for his emotional and behavioral struggles. Whether this claim is true or not, it adds another heavy layer to the court battle because no parent wants their child in a home environment where there's fighting, instability, or abuse. Now, when the child comes back to Destiny, she says she notices troubling patterns. She describes him as anxious, displaying signs of stress, and reacting in ways that suggest he might be scared of being punished. She says he is being spanked for doing regular toddler things that kids his age naturally do. From her perspective, this is unfair and harmful, and it's why she is so strongly against corporal punishment being used in their child's upbringing. At the core of all this, Destiny is asking for three main things. First, she wants custody of the child so she can be the one making the important decisions. Second, she wants the ability to choose the school he attends, ideally putting him back in the environment where he was receiving support and testing for his development. Third, she wants him removed from what she sees as a harmful environment with LaBerrick, one that includes not only harsh discipline but also exposure to unhealthy relationships and conflict. And honestly, this isn't just about parenting styles or school choices, it's also about money. Remember, Destiny already has another legal situation with LaBerrick where she owes him nearly $20,000. That issue is still unresolved, and now she is back in court again, asking for custody and more control. While the official documents may not say anything about money in this case, some people believe that finances are always part of the bigger picture when it comes to these types of disputes. Now let's step back for a moment and really think about the bigger picture here. Destiny and LaBerrick's child is not just dealing with parents who disagree. He is a little boy who is being pulled back and forth between two completely different worlds. On one hand, there is LaBerrick, who seems to believe in structure, discipline, and making decisions on his own without Destiny's input. On the other hand, there is Destiny, who wants more emotional support, less punishment, and more stability for the child in terms of school and environment. When parents are this divided, it almost always ends up hurting the child the most. Let's talk about the discipline issue for a minute. Corporal punishment is one of those topics that people will always disagree about. Some parents believe spanking is an effective way to correct behavior, while others believe it does more harm than good. Research shows that spanking can sometimes stop bad behavior in the moment, but in the long run, it can lead to increased aggression, anxiety, and fear in children. If what Destiny is saying is true, that her son is being spanked for doing normal toddler things, it could explain why he comes back to her home anxious, stressed, and displaying emotional struggles, but we also have to consider that this is only Destiny's side of the story. We don't know how often or in what way LaBerrick disciplines the child. We don't know if he really is spanking him excessively or if Destiny is exaggerating to gain custody. That's the challenge in situations like this. Without clear evidence, it becomes a battle of he said, she said, and the court has to try to figure out what is really best for the child. When it comes to the school situation, Destiny may have a valid point. If the child was already enrolled in a program designed to help him with his development and delays, pulling him out suddenly might not be the best move. Kids who struggle with delays often need consistency and stability. Moving him to a new school where he doesn't know the teachers, the students, or the system could absolutely lead to more outbursts, suspensions, and difficulties. At the same time, though, LaBerrick might have had his own reasons for the move. Maybe he thought the new school was better, maybe it was closer to his home, or maybe he felt the old program wasn't working. Without both sides fully cooperating, it's hard to know. The most concerning claim Destiny makes, though, is about domestic violence. If their son really has witnessed violence in the home, that is a major red flag. Children who see fighting, yelling, or physical violence between adults often internalize that stress. It can cause long-term trauma, affect their emotional health, and even impact how they interact with others at school and later in life. If there is any truth to these claims, then Destiny's fight to remove him from that environment becomes much more serious. But here's what's so frustrating about all of this. Instead of coming together to focus on the child's needs, both Destiny and LaBerrick seem more focused on fighting each other. Destiny feels ignored and dismissed. LaBerrick feels like he's the one in charge and doesn't need to include her. Their personal history of disagreements, money disputes, and legal battles makes it even harder for them to co-parent effectively. And while they're busy battling in court, their son is the one paying the price with behavioral problems, suspensions, and emotional struggles. We also can't ignore the money issue hanging in the background. That $20,000 Destiny owes LaBerrick is still unresolved, and it adds tension to everything else. Financial disputes almost always make custody battles more heated. When money is on the table, trust disappears, and cooperation becomes even harder. Some people believe Destiny's push for custody is partly motivated by financial pressure, even if the official paperwork doesn't say that. Others believe she is genuinely worried about her son's well-being. The truth might be somewhere in between. At the end of the day, what this really shows is that Destiny and LaBerrick need to put their personal issues aside and focus on what is best for their child. This little boy needs stability, support, and love. He doesn't need to be caught in the middle of two parents who are fighting more with each other than they are working together. If the reports about his suspensions and behavioral problems are true, then that's a clear sign that he is already being affected by all this conflict. He doesn't need more changes, more fights, or more instability. He needs both of his parents to come together and actually act in his best interest. Unfortunately, though, that doesn't seem to be happening. Destiny and LaBerrick are on opposite sides, both convinced they are right, and neither one willing to bend. And so, once again, they are back in court, asking a judge to make decisions for them instead of figuring things out together. This whole situation raises an important question: when parents can't get along, who really suffers the most? The answer is always the child. Children don't get to choose their parents, and they don't get to choose how the adults in their lives behave. All they can do is react to the environment they are placed in. And right now, it seems like Destiny and LaBerrick's son is reacting with outbursts, suspensions, and signs of emotional distress. That should be a wake-up call to both of them. Whether Destiny wins custody or not, whether LaBerrick keeps making all the decisions or not, one thing is clear: unless both of them find a way to co-parent, their son's struggles are not going to magically disappear. He needs both of his parents to step up, communicate, and stop making this about their own pride, anger, or money. Because in the end, custody battles are not about who wins or loses. They are about what kind of life the child will have, and right now, from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like this child has the stable, peaceful, supportive environment he deserves. That's the heartbreaking reality of this entire case.